that allows you to turn the equity in your home into tax-free cash. Call 1-800-981-6380 now to receive a new free information kit, including reverse mortgage guide and DVD, personal stories from people like you, and a brand new family guide for children and loved ones, all absolutely free with no obligation. AAG can help you eliminate monthly mortgage payments, pay off credit card debt or other bills, and provide some real retirement security. Call 1-800-981-6380 today to get your free AAG reverse mortgage information kit and bonus DVD. In the kit, you'll receive a helpful 3-part guide. The first will show you how a government-insured reverse mortgage allows you to access the equity in your home as tax-free cash. 500,000 people have already done it. The second booklet contains stories by people just like you who have had their lives changed forever. And the third guide is full of helpful answers and information for children and loved ones. Call 1-800-981-6380 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. It's simply an effective way for folks just like you to get the cash you need to enjoy your retirement. Find out why a reverse mortgage could be the retirement solution you're looking for. Call 1-800-981-6380 now to receive your information kit and DVD, all absolutely free. Call 1-800-981-6380 now. AAG, the best advice for a better life.
73% of Americans try to cook healthy meals, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One A Day Men's 50 Plus, complete with key nutrients we may need. Plus, it helps support healthy blood pressure with vitamin D and magnesium.
Never underestimate the power of Energizer. Our longest-lasting Energizer Max ever.
Well, take a look at this new video out of Longboat Key, Florida, of Tropical Storm Colin, just north of Sarasota now. Alex, this looks like tropical storm video. We've seen storm surge, we've seen heavy rain, we've seen flooding, but this really kind of typifies the winds that we see with the tropical storm. And the winds with this one aren't the biggest deal, obviously. The calling card seems really to be the rain and the flooding.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is sort of that sort of typical view of what people would consider a tropical cyclone when you see those palm trees really getting whipped around, that's for sure. But we've also been dealing with some of the heavier rain there, along with even the severe threat. Yeah,
and we've seen certainly plenty of tornado warnings. Torcons of 4 in place for portions of Florida and even southeast Georgia. Our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes, is here to join us now to talk more about the severe threat.
Thanks, Alexander. And we've had recently a 59-mile-per-hour wind gust at an observing site on Lake Okeechobee. So as that video was showing, it's a pretty rough afternoon across the Florida Peninsula and southeast parts of Georgia, where we even have a severe thunderstorm warning. No tornado warnings at the moment. I'm a little bit optimistic for the moment. Look at why. All of the lightning, and that's the strong thunderstorms that usually are the ones that are capable of producing tornadoes, they're about ready to move off the east coast of Florida and the southeast part of Georgia. The storms that are coming back onshore, not probably quite tall enough or intense enough that they're producing lightning. So for a little while, at least, we might get a bit of a lull in that tornado threat. The tornado warned storm that was near the Palm Coast, that has moved offshore and no longer a tornado warning there. And the storms in Jacksonville have pushed offshore as well. But the northern end of that line of storms I was talking about coming off the east coast is still onshore there in Georgia with a severe thunderstorm warning for Liberty and McIntosh counties. It's north of Brunswick, heading up toward the Savannah area, probably about an hour away if it holds together from the Savannah, Georgia area. Then over in the St. Petersburg area, not thunderstorms in here, but blustery showers, maybe occasionally a little bit of a cloud to ground lightning. Bradenton just south of there, though, we had winds still strong enough that it took the roof off of a mobile home. So it's not necessarily for the wind gusts, at least, taking these severe thunderstorms. Look at this. I talked a half hour ago about this little surge of storms that's come offshore now or near the shore between Stewart and West Palm Beach. We can still get tornadoes. The wind shear is adequate. Tropical storms and hurricanes as well, for that matter, have their biggest tornado threat usually in the right front quadrant, and that would put most of the Florida Peninsula at risk. The winds, though, have now turned a little bit more from the south instead of from the east of south. That lowers the shear a little bit. The winds aloft, though, at about 5,000 feet, still about 60 miles per hour. So that's more than enough rolling motion to give, for any of the thunderstorms, a chance to turn that shear into tornadoes. If it does so, it'll be central and northern Florida, southern parts of Georgia. But we may get a little bit of a lull. We'll watch and see if we start getting new lightning coming onshore with the storms coming onto the west coast of Florida. Florida. Alex?
All right, thanks so much, Dr. Forbes. Meanwhile, what's going to be happening with Colin as we head through the next, we'll call it 24 to 36 hours or so. And the projected path here from the National Hurricane Center showing what will be happening here for us as we head through our late day today into Tuesday early, tracking its way across southeast Georgia, then the eastern parts of the Carolinas. Quickly moving, though. This is going to start to zip on by Tuesday afternoon into the evening, just off the coast of North Carolina. Could get a little kick in the butt here and start to increase a bit in terms of the sustained winds and getting up to 60 miles per hour. But at that point, again, moving further and further away from the coast. But still some rain to go around Charleston, South Carolina for the rest of the day, tonight into tomorrow morning. And not what we want to be dealing with, because we just dealt with Bonnie, right? Over 8.5 inches of rainfall from that. Now we added additional 3 to 5 inches, and that could certainly lead to some problems. But by Wednesday into Thursday, we're looking dry, but also very warm with temperatures in the mid to upper 80s. Let's time it out. There's your timestamp there. Looking at the rest of this evening, we'll be looking for the shower and thunderstorm activity to continue here, the peninsula up into South Georgia, eventually late tonight continuing across the Carolinas. But look what happens once we get into Tuesday late in the day. Most of South Carolina is seeing some drying. It's mostly eastern North Carolina dealing with the rain. Keep tuning in. We've got more on Colin next.
Seresto makes it easy to help protect your dog or cat from fleas and ticks. With the performance you expect from a monthly topical in a non-greasy collar, Seresto kills and repels fleas and ticks for 8 continuous months. Seresto from Bayer.
This is a pea, not something pretending to be a pea. It's a pea. That's slow roasted chicken. Here's a carrot. These are the whole ingredients you'll see in every dish from Nutrish recipe. Real chicken or beef is the #1 ingredient. There's no corn, wheat, or soy. Now that's real love you can see in your dog's dish. Nutrish. Real recipes, real ingredients, real good.
Behind the biggest events in history,
we choose to go to the moon.
Are the biggest cover-ups in history.
Danny was shot twice in the back. Sirhan was in front.
Mysteries are revealed.
Their son was kidnapped. There were those who thought Lindbergh was involved.
The government is lying to us.
And the explanations will shock you.
Adolf Hitler escaped. That's the headline.
Decide for yourself what the truth really is. Chasing Conspiracies. All new series premieres Wednesday, June 22nd at 10, only on AHC.
Currently in our area, 87 degrees under cloudy skies. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 78. Chance of rain, 60%. Tuesday, afternoon thunderstorms developing, windy, high 91. Locally heavier rainfall possible. Tuesday night, scattered thunderstorms, low 77. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Looking for a van to take your business to the next level? Look for more. With the Ram ProMaster and ProMaster City, you can do more, handle more, organize more, and get more out of every drop, all for less. Now, current competitive commercial owners or lessees are eligible for these cash allowances on the 2016 Ram ProMaster City.
More people are driving Ram trucks than ever before. Guts Glory Ram.
Fall in love with a new daily fiber. New MiraFiber from the makers of Miralax. It's the only fiber that supports regularity with daily comfort fiber. So unlike others, MiraFiber is less likely to cause unwanted gas. Love your fiber. New MiraFiber.
Looks like someone is baking fresh bread in the store every single day. Wonder who? If you don't already know, try it at Walmart's low prices.
Just the thought of quitting makes me want to light up. I say we take this one less cigarette at a time. That's what I'm doing, and that's how Zantac helps me quit.
Zantac nicotine gum. Every victory counts.
You owned your car for 4 years.
You named it Brad. You loved Brad. And then you totaled him. You two had been through everything together. 2 boyfriends, 3 jobs. You're like, nothing can replace Brad. Then Liberty Mutual calls. And you break into your happy dance.
If you sign up for better car replacement, we'll pay for a car that's a model year newer with 15,000 fewer miles than your old one. See car insurance in a whole new light. Liberty Mutual Insurance.
Well, was there a love story?
In a good, clean salad, every ingredient is the main ingredient. Whether it's big or small, first to go or best for last, sweet
Thank you.
or not so sweet.
Seriously?
Whether it's tossed or twirled, if it's easy prey or placed hard to get, every last crunch, sprinkle, and drip should be as clean as it is delicious. Panera, food as it should be.
We know our customers have busy lives. That's why we're working hard to improve our customer service. The whole culture of the company is shifting towards customer service. Now with the My Account app, you can chat with an expert on Twitter or schedule a time for us to call you right from our app. You can even change your Wi-Fi password to something that's easy to remember. We're doing everything we can to give you the best experience possible. I'm Kieran from Comcast. We should fit into your life, not the other way around.
Did you know pain is caused by aggravated nerves? Aspercreme with lidocaine is revolutionary relief. In just minutes, it desensitizes your aggravated nerves to block pain with no odor or irritation. Aspercreme with lidocaine. Relieve the nerves, stop the pain.
For an itch or irritation, Cortisone 10 gives you the strongest non-prescription itch medicine, plus 7 healing moisturizers. It's good to be itch-free. Cortisone 10, feel the heal. And for itchy, irritated, psoriatic skin, try new specially formulated Cortisone 10 for psoriasis.
Their trip of a lifetime became a fight to make it home alive. Extreme weather, the survivors. Sunday nights at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Across this trembling reach of Gulf water, you have a wall of gray. And that wall of gray contains some heavier rainfall. You've got stronger winds. And that's going to come calling on these very shores here at Clearwater Beach, Florida. Welcome back. I'm meteorologist Reynolds Wolf. You're watching coverage of Tropical Storm Colin and its approach right here into the state of Florida. And we're going to follow its path as it goes through Florida, back into portions of Georgia, right on the coast, into the Carolinas, and hopefully off into history, out of harm's way, deeper into the Atlantic, gone. Problem is, we certainly have some trouble with this storm. We have the threat, life-threatening situation where we could have some problems with rising floodwaters. There's the potential also that we could have some tornadic activity with this. To give us a better understanding of what we can expect to unfold over the next several hours, let's go to our senior hurricane specialist, Brian Norcross.
All right, Reynolds, we are keeping an eye on what's developing with the right side of the storm. It's got really nothing to do with the center at this point, but it may have something to do with the center tomorrow for the Carolinas. We'll look at that in a second. There you see the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. As of 5 p.m. Eastern time, 50-mile-an-hour winds, but not located near the center like an organized tropical system, way off on the east side. The planes actually didn't find it precisely, but the estimate was that it might have been nearby where they were flying. Pressure down a little bit, though, 1,002 millibars. Forecast to continue to go down as the system gets a little stronger tomorrow. Moving north-northeast at 23 right toward the Apalachicola area for the center. But look at the satellite picture, and this really tells you everything you need to know about how out of balance this storm is, and really not very tropical. This does not look like a typical tropical storm. So there's the center the National Hurricane Center is analyzing. And look, it's all sunny all down in here. This is sunshine here. So it's the weather is all over in here. Now, there are some cells right in here that the aircraft sampled a little bit, looking for strong winds, but really not very much. The most important thing going on at the moment related to the center is the wind flow around here. It's pushing water into this area here, and we're seeing some flooding up around St. Mark's. St. Mark's right here to the east of Apalachicola. Water at Apalachicola over 2 feet above where the normal high tide is, up over dry land. So it is pushing water up into this area here, although the tide is going to start to go down there. Now, you can kind of make out a little circulation around here. It's kind of a broad, nasty-looking circulation, which is a good thing, actually. It's a very, very disorganized system. Here you can see how broad the circulation is. Look at it there on the satellite picture where you see all the way down to the Gulf surface there. That's the water we're looking at, where all the weather weather is over in here, associated with a couple of different things. One is tropical moisture being pulled up on the right side of the system. The other is a cold front up here. So both those things together are causing rain today. Now, in terms of where the winds might reach tropical storm force, 40 miles per hour and above, still over the northern part of the Florida Peninsula, and then right along the coast, all the way up and including Cape Hatteras here. National Hurricane Center has tropical storm warnings up, meaning you need to be ready for the possibility of those winds at least gusting over 40 miles per hour. Here's what the hurricane hunters did this afternoon. They went down, and first of all, they went through the center, which at that time was down in here, and then they went down and looked in this cluster of thunderstorms to see if they could find strong winds, and they found winds in the 40 to 45 mile per hour range, but it looked like maybe they didn't get all of the strong winds based on the satellite, so that's why the National Hurricane Center kept it at 50. And then they went up and looked up here because there was a kind of a swirl there, wanted to see what that was about. It was nothing, and then they found the center right there and then headed on back to Keesler Air Force Base. So it's a messy tropical storm, but still the possibility of some flooding and some strong gusty winds, and especially along the Carolina coast tomorrow.
All right, thanks so much, Brian. Doesn't look great, but impacts no doubt being felt.
All right, well, certainly stay tuned to the Weather Channel as we continue to track Tropical Storm Colin as it aims for Florida.
That's right. Mike Bettis is up next with Weather Underground. That's coming up just after your local on the 8s. We leave you, though, with what's happening in South Georgia, where we could be dealing with more rain for the afternoon and evening.
Currently in our area, 83 degrees with rain and windy conditions. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 78. Chance of rain, 60%. Tuesday, afternoon thunderstorms developing, windy, high 91. Locally heavier rainfall possible. Tuesday night, scattered thunderstorms, low 77. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Our National Guard is ready. Our State Emergency Management team is ready. Our counties are ready. And we're going to continue to monitor this. But every family's got to monitor it.
The warning from Florida Governor Rick Scott. Families and tourists, be on alert. Tonight, Tropical Storm Colin is bringing torrential rain, damaging winds, and even tornado warnings. Hello, everyone. Welcome into Weather Underground. I'm Mike Bettis. Tropical Storm Colin hammering Florida right now with flooding rain, gusty winds, some storm surge. And yes, this storm is packing 50-mile-an-hour winds right now as it sits off the Florida coast. The Tampa Bay area has been getting really pounded by this all day long for the past several hours. In fact, meteorologist Reynolds Wolf, he's in Clearwater Beach right now. Reynolds, basically the height of it is when these bands come through. What's it been like today? What's it like right now?
It's sporadic. I mean, absolutely sporadic, Mike, where you'll have the intensification of the rain, the wind picks up a little bit. The waves have been really the true constant. We're well past high tide, but still, we'll have waves that are coming in, usually sets of 2 or 3. We've had it very odd where you'll just have one large wave that'll go right through the pier, through the pilings, and crash its way onto the sand. The one thing you're going to notice, the drape of gray skies behind me. Yeah, that's just a wall of water, and we've had that just coming on through right with those feeder bands. And when it does, when it makes its way on shore, the visibility, as you might imagine, drops considerably. You know, one thing that is easy to see when you look at the, numbers. Let's talk numbers for a moment. In the Tampa Bay area, you have, about 4.3 million people that call this region home. Here in Clearwater Beach, Florida, it's roughly 110,000 people that live here year-round, but then you bring in the additional number of people. Then you think about the number of people in the state that have been here. We've had, in just the last decade, about 2 million people that have made Florida their home. What's frightening about this, Mike, is in the past decade, we've had absolutely, next to nothing in terms of major tropical storms or hurricane activity, which makes people get into a Well, the fear is they'll have a sense of complacency, that they're going to kind of lose their edge in terms of preparedness, of knowing what to do. Now, the longtime residents that have been here that lived through the 2004 season, they lived through the 2005 season, or certainly through storms like, say, Andrew, they know what to do. They know how to take it seriously. But it is the new people coming in, also the visitors, that have people with the greatest concern. And it's certainly going to be interesting to see how things pan out as we make our way through the next several hours. And certainly by tomorrow, hopefully a lot of people will be getting their power restored. Latest numbers I saw, around 30,000 people in the area, Mike, without power, due mostly to the stronger winds that have been rattling on shore. Let's send it back to you, Mike, in the studio.
All right, Reynolds, thank you very much for that. That's Reynolds Wolf along the Gulf Coast. Let's take it to the Atlantic side now. Check in with meteorologist Chris Warren. He's tracking Colin from Daytona Beach this evening. Chris, looks just as bad there as it does on the other side of the state.
Yeah, it's moving across the state, Mike. We just had a rain squall come through, and the winds are still rather blustery. But what we really did see is when this rain picked up, you can see the water start to pile up and start to run off. So we're here in Daytona Beach, and you look over here. I want to show you something, too, if we can get the sky as well. It got really dark for a little while when the clouds and the rain really started picking up. The clouds thickened up and the rain picked up. But what I'm showing you right now, if you can see where it looks kind of bright. Normally you would, maybe this was the waves, the water coming up. But what was here, the rain was coming down so hard that the sand couldn't absorb it. And so now I'm walking into this kind of a glassy look. This is because of the rain. So this is completely saturated. I dig in here, and it's one of the situations where you can see the water start to fill in. So now the rain stopped. It's, well, light rain now compared to what was coming down. And this is what you have to deal with. Granted, you might not have nonstop strong winds and heavy rain, but we will get these rain squalls. Just a little bit to the north, Dr. Forbes was tracking that tornado warning from where we are right now, and that's what people are going to have to deal with. A lot of tourists here, we've been talking to them, and rain's going to be the big factor. Continuing their vacation, going to different places, it's going to be the rain and the winds, and you're going to have to watch out with some of these squalls, Mike, for the possibility that trees could come down. So there's going to be a lot of dangers associated with just some of the individual storms that pop up and some of the squall lines with this storm.
All right, it's meteorologist Chris Warren this evening from Daytona Beach. Chris, thank you very much. Let's get you some details on what this storm is doing. We're joined now by our senior hurricane specialist, Brian Norcross. You've said it today. Doesn't look like much of anything, but it's still doing a number on Florida.
It's a tropical storm, right? Yeah. Even though it's a messy tropical storm, and It's barely a tropical storm, but it is still, there are still significant threats out there. And I want to show you the radar. Look at the radar from Daytona Beach to the north, because that's where the real action has moved here. It was over on the west coast around the Tampa area down toward Fort Myers. Now look at this. There's the line of storms that came through Daytona Beach that Chris was talking about, where he got that big downpour. And you see up in here, now Dr. Forbes will talk about the details of this, but the shift has been on for things to be more toward the east coast, although there still are some strong cells over on the west coast as well. Okay, now let's look at the overall storm. Here's the Hurricane Center. This was the 5 o'clock Eastern Time advisory. Top winds estimated to be 50 miles per hour in these thunderstorm clusters. Now, the hurricane hunters went out there. They looked around. They actually didn't find 50-mile-an-hour winds, but they don't check every single place, and the Hurricane Center was thinking that maybe they missed the absolute peak. So they're carrying 50 miles an hour. Pressure down a little bit, part of maybe an intensifying trend, which I'll talk about in a second. North-northeast at 23, so it's moving right toward the Panhandle, and it should make technical landfall, the landfall being where the center comes over the coastline, which doesn't really mean anything in this case because all the weather is well displaced to the east of the center. Now, they also stretched out the tropical storm warnings a little bit, all the way up to include Cape Hatteras. Tropical storm warnings means this is where winds could be over 40 miles an hour in the next day or so. So you see the northern part of the peninsula and just right along the the Carolina and Georgia coast as the center moves on by. Now, the strongest winds will be over the water, but some of those gusty winds may come ashore. So here's the track of the center, not of the weather. Remember, the weather is on this side over here. So the track takes it right by Tallahassee tonight. Estimated peak winds somewhere over in here at 50 miles per hour, and then speeding up along the Carolina coast and intensifying because there's a dip in the jet stream coming along, giving it extra energy and turning it into more like a nor'easter. So probably be called post-tropical storm Colin by the time it's over there, but the winds could be quite gusty, mostly offshore. But because it's moving so fast, and on the left side of the storm, that cancels out the winds coming around this way, cancel out the forward motion. Right. So you don't get the strong winds on the left side when a storm is moving fast, and the left side will be the landward side.
And everyone that's on that side is probably okay with that.
That's
I'm
good.
Sure.
That's the good side.
Brian, thank you very much. Here's what we know right now about Colin. More than 30,000 people are without power in the state of Florida. 6,000 National Guard members on standby for Tropical Storm Colin. Florida's Department of Emergency Management is urging people to be prepared for flooding, winds, and the possibility of tornadoes. And when we come back, the threat of tornadoes through the night in Florida and beyond. Our Dr. Ray Forbes is going to join us to pinpoint the locations at risk and why you may see a tornado and be nowhere near the center of Tropical Storm Colin. That's when we return right here on the Weather Channel.
Boston Market is bringing you a new spin on chicken. Introducing our new Oven Crisp Chicken, all white boneless chicken breast, seasoned and hand breaded, then oven baked for a crispy golden crust. Only $7.99. Boston Market, all good.
New Oven Crisp Chicken from Boston Market. Boneless, baked, better.
Relay for Life. Help the American Cancer Society save lives and celebrate life at relayforlife.org.
You show up. You stay up. You listen. You laugh. You worry. You do whatever it takes to take care of your family. And when it's time to plan for your family's future, we're here for you. We're LegalZoom. And for over 10 years, we've helped families just like yours with wills and living trusts. So when you're ready, start with us. Doing the right thing has never been easier. LegalZoom. Legal help is here.
This year, make every amazing despicable. Wizarding second of your vacation count by staying where the adventure never ends. Come with me now. 2 theme parks, spectacular resort hotels, more epic than ever. Don't just vacation. Come with me now. Vacation like you mean it. Universal Orlando Resort. Go big with on-site hotel rates starting at just $120 per night.
Experience the thrill of the Lexus GS F Sport, because the ultimate expression of power is control. This is the pursuit of perfection.
To you, they're more than just a pet. So protect them with Canine Advantix 2. It kills fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes. Canine Advantix 2 for the love of dog.
Never underestimate the power of Energizer. Our longest lasting Energizer Max ever.
What's it like to be in good hands? Man, it's like pure power at your fingertips. Like the power to earn Allstate reward points every time I drive. Want my number? And cash back for driving safe. And the power to automatically find your car. I see you, car, and I got the power to know who's coming and when if I break down. You must be Jerry. Hey, N means getting more from your car insurance with the all-powerful DriveWise app.
It's good to be in good hands.
Tired of redosing antacids? Try Duo Fusion. New 2-in-1 heartburn relief. The antacid goes to work in seconds, and the acid reducer lasts up to 12 hours. In one chewable tablet. Try new Duo Fusion from the makers of Zantac.
Waterproof, windproof, and for $130, weatherman proof. Cabela's Rainy River Parka. Great price, lifetime guarantee. That's practical.
We know you have a morning routine. We have one too. 7 days a week, AMHQ is right here and weather ready with Jim Cantori, Stephanie Abrams, Jen Carfagno, and the rest of AMHQ.
Let's get right to what you want, and that is the weather.
AMHQ, every morning starting at 5 on the Weather Channel.
Weekend Recharge is... We want you to unplug so you get lost in the weather.
Welcome back to our coverage of tracking Tropical Storm Colin. This is a live look at Daytona Beach, Florida. This area dealing with torrential downpours, high winds, a little bit of flooding. Tropical Storm Colin making its way across the state tonight of Florida. And there's also an increased risk that we could see maybe some severe weather as well. Governor Rick Scott, by the way, warning people to be on alert as this storm moves through. National Guard is on standby. Well, let's update you on what's happening with Colin right now. The latest advisory from the Hurricane Center still pegs the winds at 50 miles per hour. The center of circulation just now south of Apalachicola. Pressure's 1,002 millibars, moving north-northeast at 23 miles per hour. As far as where it goes from here, likely to make its landfall this evening and work its way right through Florida, southern Georgia, and then right through the beaches here of South Carolina and North Carolina over the next, say, 24-plus hours. Could actually, when it gets near Wilmington or the Outer Banks of North Carolina, intensify just a little bit, maybe up to, say, a 60-mile-per-hour tropical storm. That's the forecast at this point. We do have some warnings in effect right now, including tropical storm warnings, both coasts of Florida through central Florida, then up through all the beaches. It extends all the way over toward Cape Fear, North Carolina. Well, we know that thousands of people in Florida are without power thanks to Tropical Storm Colin. We know they could have a threat for some more high winds, the possibility of some more dangerous weather. So we're joined this evening by our severe weather specialist, Dr. Greg Forbes. When you look at what's going on with these storms, Dr. Forbes, you've noticed one thing with the lightning. What's keying you in on the lightning tonight?
Yeah, the lightning, cloud-to-ground lightning has really moved off of or is about to move off the East Coast, and it's those storms are the ones that have had the tornado warnings. Now, the damaging wind threat could continue, but take a look here. The cloud-to-ground lightning bolts here are right on the East Coast of Georgia and Florida. We'll see if we get more lightning coming in off of the Gulf of Mexico onto the West Coast. If so, the tornado threat would go back up, but it's probably lessened a little bit now, but we certainly have the wind shear. I'll come back and talk about that. There are strong thunderstorms still up in Liberty and McIntosh counties in Georgia, working their way towards Savannah, but they may be weakening too a little bit. It's some of these the storms offshore that are the stronger ones, and you can see how the red cord storms are pushed offshore here of St. Augustine. So the tornado threat accordingly that had been in these lines and ahead of it is weakening. It's coming right across the shores now of Cape Canaveral, and this little bow echo has come offshore of Stewart and the Fort Pierce area. So what we're dealing with now are showers for the most part that are coming into the Tampa area, and we'll see if they'll intensify. But that said, even there, just south of Bradenton in some of these, we had a roof taken off of a mobile home. Now, I wanted to show you the velocities here, and keep in mind the radar beam tilts upward. So these strong velocities are about 60 miles per hour here. These away from the radar here are about 60 miles per hour. So, but these are about 3,000 feet up. If you connect those, this is how we use radar to measure winds above the ground. And so here we have winds that are about 60 miles per hour from the just west of south, Mike, at about 3,000 feet above ground.
And there are components in place to actually trigger the possibility of tornadoes tonight still.
Yeah, that wind shear is one of the things we need. The other is thunderstorms to tap into it. When we get tornadoes from tropical storms, they're usually in the right front quadrant, and that would be in play for Florida, especially north and central. The surface winds are from the south at about 15 miles per hour, but then we have those 5,000 or even 3,000 foot winds that are from about 60 miles per hour from a little bit more from the west. So we have that wind shear, Mike, that gives us a chance still of damaging wind gusts off in this right front quadrant. There you can see the surface low. So anywhere from Orlando north is in that right front quadrant. And so still damaging wind gusts. And if we get lightning resume, a chance of a tornado yet tonight in South Georgia and North Florida, Mike.
Unfortunately, just one more thing that people in Florida have to worry about this evening. Dr. Forbes, thank you very much. We know thousands of people in Florida already without power, and it's all thanks to Tropical Storm Colin. Coming up, we give you some tips and tricks to make life without electricity a little bit easier as we follow this storm for you tonight and follow the now thousands of people without power on Daytona Beach. This is what it looks like tonight. Dangers in those waters. Inside is where you need to be tonight. More when we come back.
Fall in love with a new daily fiber.
New MiraFiber from the makers of Miralax. It's the only fiber that supports regularity with daily comfort fiber. So unlike others, MiraFiber is less likely to cause unwanted gas. Love your fiber. New MiraFiber.
I jumped at the chance to take the DNA test through Ancestry, and my results ended up being African, European, and Asian. It was great because it confirmed what I knew in my gut with a little surprise. Ancestry helped give me a sense of identity. Hello.
Nice to meet you. Today we're going to talk about the all-new 2016 Chevy Cruze. But here's the catch. You're only going to answer me in emojis. So this Cruze has built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi with 24 gigs of data. It also comes with 24 months of Sirius XM satellite radio.
Like word, Chevy. That's the way to go.
Now pick the one emoji that sums up the car.
Crystal ball. I can see the future.
That was deep.
What if one day everything just stopped going wrong?
Have a good day, huh?
No more accidents. No more disasters. Where would State Farm be? Here to help with college. Here for that first car. And here for new beginnings. Because in a world where nothing went wrong, your State Farm agent will still be right here. Helping make life go completely right.
Alright, we made it. Let's go.
Summertime adventure? Bring it on. Petsmart is the perfect toys, gear, apparel, and food for your best friends to keep those fearless thrill seekers enjoying the fun outdoors or comfortably indoors. With the free GolfNow app, book tee times worry-free with no cancellation fee. Earn rewards for every round. Get accurate GPS yardages. Keep score for your group and track your game stats. Why buy it when you can have it all for free? Get the GolfNow app today.
It can be hotter than Death Valley in your attic. But that's still not hot enough to sweat out bugs. Take these boxes. They're not only perfect for storing old yearbooks and pictures,
You find something?
they're also a perfect food source and nesting material for roaches. That's why I identify their favorite snacks, like old books, clothing, wood. Then I seal entryways and use the latest scientific methods. Orkin, the pest control down to a science.
Okay, ready?
Nothing should get in the way of the things you love. Get America's fastest internet, only from Xfinity.
Weekend Recharge is... We want you to unplug so we get lost in the weather.
Currently in our area, 79 degrees with light rain. Tonight, scattered thunderstorms, low 78. Chance of rain, 60%. Tuesday, afternoon thunderstorms developing, windy, high 91. Locally heavier rainfall possible. Tuesday night, scattered thunderstorms, low 77. Chance of rain, 80%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
I'm meteorologist Chris Warren, live on Daytona Beach here in Florida on the east coast of Florida, tracking tropical storm Colin. The wind has been picking up. We had a very heavy rain squall come through just a minute ago. Now it's let up just a little bit. And one thing we did see throughout the day is people steadily going in. Virtually deserted now with the exception of a couple groups of people. You have, looks like a family out here going for a walk. They have their ponchos. And then a couple of people with surfboards. They were in the water, didn't really see them catching any waves. But if you look, you can kind of see why. On a day like this, it's not advisable at all, of course, to be in the water. And even off in the distance, there's whitecaps out there. And you also can see a little bit of a brown tinge to the water. And that gives you an idea that things are turned up. So it's a pretty kind of a blown out day here when you're looking at the surf. And it's not the smartest idea to be in the water anyways with some storms around. We haven't heard too much thunder, but checking the radar, there is still a little bit of lightning well to the south of us. And we are noticing the wind still relatively steady. So even though some of the heaviest rain has stopped for now, you can still kind of tell that something's going on in the atmosphere. And then you look at the satellite and the radar, things certainly are messy across Florida. But Mike, we also are going to be watching for the potential of multiple impacts from Tropical Storm Colin, from the rain, flooding, and the possibility of tornadoes as well.
All right, Chris, Warren this evening in Daytona Beach. Chris, thank you very much. I want to update you on what's going on with Colin right now because it's still a tropical storm. Winds are holding steady at 50 miles an hour just south of Apalachicola. Pressure's 1,002 millibars. Obviously, there's a ton of rain that we're squeezing out of this system this evening. It's just been a soaker across Florida this evening, unfortunately. Just look at all the rain. But we're also getting some very heavy rain in South Florida, across South Carolina, and up through North Carolina as well. Where does Colin go from here? Likely to make a landfall here in near Apalachicola in the Big Bend area, then go through Florida, Georgia, and then basically hug the coastline here over the next, say, 24 hours or so. There's a look at it. It may actually even intensify a little bit as it gets closer toward the North Carolina coastline. Well, tropical storm warnings certainly in effect for a large stretch of Florida's Gulf Coast. The storm's moving northeastward, could carry a huge punch, bringing heavy rain along with some winds, and those winds could bring down power lines. Meteorologist Mark Elliott shows us 5 tricks to keep the lights on when the power is out.
So here you are walking through your house, minding your own business when some weather comes through and out goes the power. Now, if you're like me, the first thing you do is try to find the flashlight to illuminate your way, but who wants to hold one of these all day long, pointing it every which direction to find what you're looking for? Here's a better way. You can hang the headlamp or the flashlight right onto a gallon of water, puts a nice soft glow in the room, and now you can see hands-free. Now, we do warn you about using an open flame in a power outage, but this one's a little bit different. We've got this can of Crisco, and into it we've plunged a string and a birthday candle, and that will actually work as a candle, last through much of the day. Really hard to knock that over. Still, it's an open flame, so don't leave it unattended for any amount of time. Now, batteries are the nemesis in a power outage. Maybe your weather alert radio calls for AA's, but all you've got are AAA's. We can actually fix that too. Put a little bit of tin foil in the gap for the battery size, and it still works. May not last as long, but it'll get you by in a pinch. Speaking of a pinch, you might finally want a hot meal. You're done with takeout? Use the pizza box as a solar oven with just some tin foil and some saran wrap. You can have a hot meal right there on your own driveway. Hey, the power's back on. But is anything in here good to eat still? Well, we can do a little test for you. Put a mason jar with some water and food coloring horizontally in your freezer, then stack it vertically. If that defrosts, the shape of the ice changes, you'll know that nothing in there is safe to eat. And that's some ways that you can get through your next power outage.
Good stuff, Mark. Thank you very much. Up next, whether tropical storm or hurricane, Storm Surge always seems to be a threat. Our hurricane specialist is going to show us who's at risk for rising water tonight and tomorrow.
Hi, is the internet still out?
Yes.
Nothing.
Work together, work together, work together. Do you have anything? No, I don't have anything.
Please come back, internet. I love you. I love you so much. Just come back, please, please. He's streaming a cat video. And the whole party's looking at me. Come on.
Get high-speed internet from AT&T with 99.9% reliability for just $30 a month. Keep calm, your internet's on.
By the end of the day, my feet are beat up.
They're so dry and so cracked.
It felt like sandpaper.
O'Keefe's for healthy feet. Guaranteed relief for dry, cracked feet.
The product is working immediately.
My feet felt healthy.
It changed my life.
Learn more at o'keefescompany.com.
Defiance is in our bones.
are Citracal bones. Easily absorb calcium plus vitamin D. Defy bone aging with Citracal Maximum, our highest level of calcium plus D.
At Pure Leaf, we know that the best things in life are real. So we wouldn't use anything other than real, fresh-picked tea leaves. Brewed the way you make it at home. Pure Leaf. A delicious, real leaf-brewed iced tea. We love iced tea the way you love iced tea. Pure and simple. Pure Leaf, for the love of leaves.
One day, a rider made a decision. The decision to ride on and save money. He decided to save money by switching his motorcycle insurance to Geico. There's no shame in saving money. Ride on, ride proud. Geico Motorcycle. Great rates for great rides.
I use what's already inside me to reach my goals. So I liked when my doctor told me that I may reach my blood sugar and A1C goals by activating what's within me. With once-weekly Trulicity. Trulicity is not insulin. It helps activate my body to do what it's supposed to do, release its own insulin. Trulicity responds when my blood sugar rises. I take it once a week, and it works 24/7. It comes in an easy-to-use pen, and I may even lose a little weight.
Trulicity is a once-weekly injectable prescription medicine to improve blood sugar in adults with type 2 diabetes. It should be used along with diet and exercise. Trulicity is not recommended as the first medicine to treat diabetes and should not be used by people with severe stomach or intestinal problems or people with type 1 diabetes or diabetic ketoacidosis. Trulicity is not insulin and has not been studied with long-acting insulin. Do not take Trulicity if you or anyone in your family has had medullary thyroid cancer or multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if you are allergic to Trulicity or its ingredients. Stop using Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of an allergic reaction, such as itching, rash, or difficulty breathing. If you have signs of pancreatitis, such as severe stomach pain that will not go away and may move to your back, with or without vomiting. Or if you have symptoms of thyroid cancer, which may include a lump or swelling in your neck, hoarseness, trouble swallowing, or shortness of breath. Medicines like Trulicity may cause stomach problems, which could be severe. Tell your doctor about all your medical conditions and any medicines you take. Taking Trulicity with a sulfonylurea or insulin may increase your risk for low blood sugar. Common side effects include nausea, diarrhea, vomiting, decreased appetite, and indigestion. Some side effects can lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney failure.
With Trulicity, I click to activate what's within me.
If you want help improving your A1C and blood sugar numbers with a non-insulin option, click to activate your within. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Every day you get to accept things as they are or take responsibility for changing them.
The people of Flint, Michigan, it's like we don't matter.
It's such a real issue that's right in front of us.
Climate, environment, science, technology. Let's have a conversation. And together, we can solve these things.
23.5 degrees, Tuesday nights at 11 on the Weather Channel.
Closed captioning brought to you by Beltone, your premier hearing care partner.
Beltone is conducting a new trial on innovative hearing technology. You will be asked to evaluate a remarkable product that's virtually invisible. Call 1-800-BELTONE.
We're tracking Colin tonight, and you're taking a live look at Apalachicola. It may be just a matter of time here, really this evening, that we see an official landfall somewhere near Apalachicola, Florida, of Tropical Storm Colin. You can see it's a rough ocean out there. Sets are erratic. No one's out there. And Chris Warren was telling us even that the surfers over Daytona Beach are trying to get out there. They weren't seeing much of anything, at least surfable waves out there. So we're keeping a really close eye on this from the Gulf Coast to the Atlantic Coast. And we have a state of emergency in effect across the state of Florida. Let's check on the ground with our meteorologist this evening. Chris Warren is in Daytona Beach right now. And Chris, you showed us last time. It's a really choppy surf out there. It's a little breezy. It's a little rainy. It's not the best of days to be out there. What's your best advice for folks that, are maybe curious about there? They're out there for vacation. Maybe they want to see what's going on. They've never been through something like this before.
Well, you know, just play it smart. And there's no lifeguards out here, so that's an indication that maybe it's not a beach day. But we are, you know, still seeing people. It seems like they're having a good time. They're not working. They're not in school in some cases. So it's a day off at the beach, although it's a rainy day at the beach. And we did see some surfers leave, and we saw some more come in. Here's a couple out here. Well, I want to say that they're surfing, but I haven't seen them actually surf. I mean, if you look at this water, I haven't seen a wave that really looks catchable at all. So to me, it seems like people are just anxious to get out and just kind of be out. You know, you're on vacation, you have the day off, you're in Florida, you're on a beach vacation. The main thing, though, like these guys out here tossing the little colorful football around, and we have someone that's excited. It's nice to just kind of get out occasionally. But if you hear thunder, that's when you have to go inside. That's the number one thing. And also over here, there's we saw a couple of people come into the water with surfboards. I'll be very curious to see if they can catch anything, because it's just not a good day. It's not a good day in the water. People were out earlier. It was warm. It was quite warm earlier and humid as well. So it's just nice to be out where there is a little bit of a breeze, and there certainly is that now. It feels cooler. That could be because I'm wet, but generally it does feel cooler now that heavy rain has come through. And people that did go up into their rooms, and you can kind of look at some of the hotel. You see the rooms with the doors open, and people are just kind of hanging out. You know, it's a gray day. It's a wet day, but in your room, hanging out, enjoying each other, having fun, just, you know, not working, and you're not in school. That's the bottom line. It's still a beach day. Just got to give it a little bit of time. And the big concern is going to be when you go somewhere else. A lot of people on a road trip, met a family from Ohio. They're down here. They're going to head to Orlando, which is a little bit more than an hour away from here, to do some of the parks. And the main thing is just watch out for the rain. And when that heavy rain comes down, Mike, that's something that people have to worry about. So we're still looking at Tropical Storm Colin, bringing that threat of heavy rain, lightning, and the potential of flooding, and even a chance for some tornadoes as well. So it's just a big heads up for everyone here trying to enjoy at least a little bit of vacation time on the beach.
Well, maybe it'll get there sooner than later. Tomorrow certainly will offer some improvements. Chris, thank you very much. Joined now by our senior hurricane specialist, Brian Norcross. When you take a look at this, it's close. It's almost going to be on land shortly here, but it just doesn't look like a typical tropical cyclone.
No, it's one of these close enough to tropical to be called tropical storms.
Right. But just barely, really.
Just barely, because it's
what happens this evening, Brian?
Well, first of all, what's happening right now, so this is the latest advisory from the National Hurricane Center. They sent the plane out there, they hunted around, they never found winds really to 45 miles per hour, but they didn't think, well, maybe they didn't find it all, so they're continuing to carry 50-mile-an-hour winds. Well, this is a buoy out in that's off not too terribly far away there, and you see only 22-mile-an-hour winds at that buoy.
So winds have never really been the calling card of Colin. It's really been more of flooding rain. It's been more about how much water rise we're going to get going into a pretty vulnerable coastline.
Right, and the center, that buoy was not too far from the center with no winds, because the winds are 100 miles or more way over on the other side, right? So to take a look at the advisory here, and you see this is the 5 o'clock advisory. So they estimated a 50-mile-an-hour wind somewhere in there, and was really in the thunderstorms way away from the center, where that buoy we were looking at was way up here close to the center. And the pressure there, 1,002, which was the same as the buoy. And moving north-northeast to 23, so like you were saying, looks like it's going to come ashore. I'm not